Victoria's splinters struggle to rebuild. Portia Nur makes her move for Praetoria's secrets. Shapeshifters summoned from the plane of chaos feast on flesh and memories, while the mages of the Conclave Arcana scour the 7 territories. Few will stand against them, but it won't be enough. That's where you come in. You and your cards. Like all new archons that grant you dominion over bloodlines. Dwarves, elves, gnomes, orcs, and Lund. Craft midnight potions in the Artisan Quarter for a shot at new ultra-rare foils. Flex your collection in battle and earn bigger rewards. The Conclave Arcana awaits. Do you have what it takes?
Hey everyone, welcome to what I think is going to be a super fun edition of the Splinterlands Town Hall. It is May 15th, 2025. There has just been a major release, possibly one of the biggest and most fun days, I think, in Splinterlands history. It's right up there with like when battles first started in 2018 and you could first play the game. We have Conclave Arcana is out. And that's going to be, I think, the majority of what the town hall is about. Obviously, we're going to go into all the other things going on and what's coming up. But for the most part, I think this one is going to be, talking about what just happened, what we think, how we're feeling, what the community, what we're seeing from the community and internally. A fun stream talking about the really exciting stuff that has been delivered at this point. I feel like a lot of them we focused I think like 6 months or so ago we came out and with this big plan for the coming 6 months. We had like a really daunting to-do list in front of us. And it's so great to be here now talking with everyone after having delivered on the plan, not having to come out and say, yeah, we're behind schedule, or we know we've been talking about this for a while and we think it's going to be out by the end of the year, or yada yada yada. We really not only delivered, I think, on pretty much all the things we talked about at the end of last year, but in a lot of them, I feel like we've gone well above and beyond what I thought we were going to do or be able to do. So yeah, this is a fun one. Like, I'm really excited about this, to be in this position to talk to everyone about it. Obviously, the other people on the call and the people who are not on the call that are part of the team are really the ones that made all that happen. So I just want to give a shout out to everyone on the Splinterlands team who kind of really worked their butts off to make this happen. We were just chatting right before the town hall started, and there was this discussion about something over the weekend, and I think investigator was like, what's a weekend? These guys, it's just every day is just the same of working on Conclave Arcana and working on the different features that we're doing. And they keep happening. And then the biggest surprise to me, I had to leave. I was out on purpose for the first like hour of the Conclave Arcana launch. I didn't want to be around in case like everything blew up. It was just there was just so much new stuff. And even just like a week before the launch, it was it wasn't like, oh, everything had been done and tested and was good. It was like, yeah, we're going to try to get this in, we're going to try to put that in, we're testing that, we're still making sure this is good. And I'm just like, all right, I'm leaving the house. And then I kind of like was seeing a bunch of messages on X and things, everyone was having a great time, so I was like, all right, I'm going home, and I'm opening all my packs, and I saw all the pop-ups about all the arcane cards. I'm like, oh no. So I started opening in a big frenzy, and then I spent the entire rest of the day and well into the evening just like in a craziness of like watching messages, checking messages, looking at streams. I had 3 different streams up: Bulldog, Walking Keys, Jeff opens cards, trying to follow all that, opening my cards. I wasn't even like, since I was doing stuff, I wasn't even paying attention. I didn't even notice I got an arcane card until people until people started messaging me about it, because I was like half watching streams. It was a crazy day. And yeah, just I still can't believe how smoothly it went. Um, and I think it's just I talked about this has been happening for pretty much every major release we've had, which has been a number of them over the past 6 months. Um, and it's just amazing every time. So I'm gonna go around the room. Um, Nate, we're gonna save you for last, if you're okay with that. Save the best for last. No offense to everybody else.
Sure.
Um, and just get your thoughts on it. I don't know, Dave. Do you want to go first? I'm just going in order of how you show up on my screen here.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about it. Number one, I was incredibly happy with how the sale went. It seemed like everybody was really excited. I know myself, I was massively excited to open my packs. I didn't get them all open. I opened like 1,800 packs. I still got another 700 to go. As I get some potions, can't wait to do that. I can also tell you that I bought 38 starter packs to try to fill in, for some of my scholars to get them some cards. So I'm pretty much know what I'm doing over the next 298 days. I'm gonna be figuring out how to get more packs. So I was really excited about it. I was happy with the response from the community. Very proud of our community as a whole, like how everybody was supportive and positive. It was a great environment. Everything from Twitter, even Discord, like even Discord, we didn't have any Discord. That people were in a great mood. So I'm excited about it and really looking forward to how this sets us up. I think you messaged the other day, Matt, in one of your messages to us internally that you think we may have hit an inflection point, and I definitely agree with that. So I'm pumped.
Cool. Yeah. And Dave, I give a shout out to you specifically. Everyone in the community listening, I'm sure, knows Dave very well. But Dave has like made my life 100 times easier by coming in and just being on top of so many things. It's allowed me to focus much more on the design and the numbers and all that stuff, which has really helped. I feel like in the past we were like that stuff was way behind because I could never get to it because I was dealing with all sorts of other nonsense. Um, now we've had that stuff a lot earlier. We've got to get a lot of feedback on it, rather than just throw stuff out right at the end. So, Dave, a lot of the credit goes to you, for making things go more smoothly internally, at the very least for me, but I think even for a lot of other people on the team. So thank you for that. And the community hopefully appreciates, even though they might not see it directly, but how much Dave is doing here. Blaze, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, man. Super stoked, excited, kind of still in shock to see everything come to life. As soon as I got on board, within a month, we're starting to build the cards. I'm involved in the power curve of the cards with Investy and the team. I'm pushing you to get the foils in there, and the mint numbers I wanted as well, but I didn't know where that was going. But when Dave came on board, he's like, no, we're making it all happen. And he just came and pressed hard and watching just the process come to life. Again, talking to Nate about what we were talking about, the refractors, which are the arcanes and our idea. And we were expecting one thing, and then he came above and beyond, and his team delivered such a great product. And that's what excites me the most coming from sales and marketing, is having a product that we can sell for 300 days from here on out. So I'm in love with the product as a gamer myself. I pulled a mint number 1 black foil of Jackarilla. And I think you're trying to complete your set. So if you don't have that one yet, it's going to cost you a pretty penny if you do want it. But no, again, I'm just super grateful. And not only that, the land, watching land come to life and everything meshing and having those black foils where it's not just for the collector, but it's also embedded into the land as well with the bonuses and perks it gives. So we trying to make our product meet everybody's needs as best as we can. So Yeah, super stoked.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Blaze also, he's the marketing lead, but a lot of that also just, it doesn't mean just going and getting new inbound players. It's also building a product. So it both retains all our existing players, you guys, and then so when we get inbound players, they have an awesome time and they stick around. So marketing is a lot more than just new player signups. So yeah, Blaze has been right there alongside the team, being like, here's ideas of how we can make this better, uh, things the players will like, all that stuff. So he's been super involved in the design, testing, development, everything of the set. So also thank you, Blaze. And that's why, I feel like uh in the past we brought on some people from outside the ecosystem, and a lot of times that hadn't worked out or hasn't worked out nearly as well as the people who were here playing first. So everyone, especially when things got tough, um, a lot of those people left because this was just a job, right? They leave and they go to some other company that does something. Uh, and but the people like Dave and Blaze and Nate and Invested, I think everyone on this call, are not just their job. They play this game. They're part of the community. Um, and those are the people who just really like go above and beyond and make stuff happen. So I feel like that's the big thing behind why we've been clicking and delivering so well. Is the group of people who just really love the product and what we're doing here, and it's not just the current job that they have. So thank you, Blaze, as well.
Yeah, my pleasure. In addition, the community, right? B Jangles, Budkiss, all you guys. You guys are just absolutely heroes, man. You guys really helped this process too. And then seeing Jeff opens cards and walking keys, you guys are doing the marketing for me. I'm done here. No, I'm kidding, but it really helps amplify the message, and this is exactly what we want. And you guys are already setting the pace to capture that audience, right? There's plenty of people like us that just love that collectors aspect of things and the thrill of the game. It is really fun. But Conclave Arcana was our priority, and now everything else is we have plenty of other projects in the works, and the front page is one, and the campaign mode, those are like high priority on our list because we do want those free to play players to come in and fall in love with the game too and start buying. So that is right there on the list. I'll let Dave get into more details on that, but the wheels are turning and that's all coming to life. So we're not slowing down there.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, 100%. I know for a lot of time people are asking about different things. It's like, well, we're focusing on Conclave Arcana for right now. That's done. Now we can go and turn our sights on, all the other things we want to do. The work is certainly not done by any means. Speaking of doing a lot of the work, Investigator is like the one leading basically the entire development team, the releases, making sure everything's going smoothly. I give him a ton of the credit for how smoothly everything's gone and the amount of stuff that has managed to get in. What we talked about on previous town halls, how like I've wanted to do different foil cards for a long time. I just didn't think we could do it. And then we kind of had a call about it. Blaze and Dave were pushing it. And then Investi was like, oh yeah, we kind of tried it, and yeah, we were able to do it. And we pushed stuff out already to get ready for it. And then obviously they made it happen without a hitch so far. So I don't know, how are you feeling about everything? If you have any fun or crazy development or release stories to share, I'm sure you'd love to hear from you.
You got to walk away. Well, I got to sit there and do the nerve-wracking release. But it was.
I mean, to be fair, I've done my share of nerve-wracking
releases. Yeah. And I appreciate the credit, but it really is a team effort, and we've got a lot of really skilled developers and support team that's all working to make sure that the product goes out. This was an interesting one because we decided we're doing the limited mint numbers and limited edition cards and packs. We're like, okay, we QA everything we do in prod before we turn the system over to the users, come out of maintenance. Like we can't open packs. if we get a number 1 mint black foil in arcane card, the community is going to be pissed that we did it during downtime when trying to just test opening packs. So nobody can open packs till we come out of maintenance. We're just going to hope it works.
Good thinking on that one.
So, and as most people who were sitting there waiting for it to come out of maintenance to crack all their packs, it was a little bit of a delay right as we came out of maintenance and everybody hit the system. It was taking about 40 seconds to process one person's pack open, which we quickly fixed the performance on. And that was pretty much the worst thing that we found during the update, which is, it went fairly well considering how many things we were doing in this update, the number of screens we touched, the number of backend changes we made to support everything. And I think it's a pretty exciting set. I bought a decent number of alchemy packs and opened all of them. I did get the Blazebeard number 1, which I traded with Blaze since he really wanted that. But it's definitely been exciting and very tempting to get more packs to try to find more of those rare cards and fill out the collection. But I think it went pretty well, and looking forward to seeing what we do next.
Yeah, pretty well is an understatement, I think. So fantastic job from you, and yeah, the rest of the development team. You guys know, call me Tim, and Melon Man, Antioch, kind of the main players there, and doing a lot of development on this. Yeah, they just, these guys are all like just love this stuff, and typically don't even have to ask them to, it's not like push them to do it or whatever. They go and they build all this stuff, and then they add extra stuff. And it's really amazing. I just want to clarify, they do definitely test everything on our QA servers, and then in addition, after it's actually released to prod, double check it on prod. I want to put that out there. But yeah.
One thing I'd like to say is, this is my first time working with them. They're amazing in terms of, like, you can add something 2 days before, it's going live, and Matt's like saying, no, we can't do that, right? Like, we shouldn't push them too hard. But every time I talk to Gator, I mean, he's going to get it done. He's going to figure out like how to get it done. I mean, he'll tell me if he can't, but I would say 99 out of 100 times he's going to find a way to get it done, which is an amazing quality to have people that, figure out how to make it work, right? And that's essentially the way I look at it. Like, if I go to Gator and I say, hey, can this be done? He's going to tell me the truth. And not only that, I never have to worry about it again. That's a major plus in terms of when you're trying to figure out how to make things happen, knowing that, he will get it done, and you don't have to follow up every 5 minutes. That's a big deal. So, thank you, Gator.
I feel like there were some things that there were discussion about them not being done for the initial release, and I was like, yeah, that's fine. We don't need them for the initial release. And then I think they were in for the initial release. So
Antioch did the Conclave Arcana prize history or prize layout in like a day, 2 days before the release. I did ask him to, but he did a great job of just like knocking that right out.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I guess it's done.
Like our original Matt card, right? Like that was coming right up, and you were like, maybe we should wait on it. And I'd already talked to Gator, and he already told me he was going to get it done. So, he did.
Yeah, I guess if there was, if there was going to be something that was like extra and like push the team over the limit and cause problems, I didn't want it to have my face on it. But no, that got in too, and seemed to work great. I got 3 of them so far, so I'm super excited about that.
I was actually on with you when you pulled one. That was pretty funny. You were like, "Hey, I got a Matt card," which I thought was funny.
Although my wife says it does not look like me. But yeah, no. That's awesome. Yeah. So thank you, Gator, and the development team for that. All right, we're gonna jump over to Nate. How are you feeling about everything, Nate?
Oh man, like a man who's given birth. I think we're
Well,
all
these days men can give birth,
yeah,
so
yeah. There you go. What everyone else said, really. I mean, I'm just everyone like Harry said, it's a team effort, and it really shows. It's kind of like we were all playing hot potato all the way up to crossing the finish line. Dave is right. Is like, can we do this? Can we do this? Can we do this? And Harry was like, yeah, and Creative was like, yeah, okay, and we're all rushing in, and it's like, wow, I can't. I mean, this is if anyone was questioning um this set compared to all previous sets, I mean, I think everyone in the community could just tell, they just know, and the team is here to just confirm this is the most ambitious set that we have ever put out. Whether you're talking about the sheer number of abilities that are introduced, whether you're talking about the integration with land and new worksite and new aura and the potions, or whether you're talking about the new foils and the new animations, or whether you're talking about Dave and Blaze saying, get the Yaba card in there. So, I mean, holy crap. Yeah, we really collectively, even as a community, even because then we got testing involved. Out of every other set in the history of the game, we have never done as such extensive testing and refinement for a set as we did this time. So, I mean, I'm sure I'm missing a bunch of other milestone achievements that happened with this set, but it is definitely something to be celebrated and something I was excited about, not just as a, like you said, not just as a team member, but I was, we were all there day one, opening up packs like we're kids on Christmas Day, just let's see what we got. And I was there. Everyone else watching this was probably doing the same thing. It's just fun, exciting. It's a joy to work on something that you're not just passionate about making, but passionate about playing. So absolutely, it's been a blast. And then each and every one of the people on this call, I can't say enough. I mean, Dave's right. Harry is there. Like he did the same thing for me, Dave. I turn around and we're in a meeting and we're like, hey, maybe we'll get this done. I don't know how to prioritize this, and we got such limited bandwidth and so much to do. And there's Harry, like within hours or the next day. Okay, next. Like whoa, that was quick.
And then creative has to catch up.
Yeah, and then you got Blaze over there. Like people say, what's going on with marketing? Like, are you kidding me? I don't think we've ever had a marketing person so far into the trenches, sleeves rolled up, like saying not just, okay, guys, give me something to market, something to sell. No, he's in there in the trenches saying, no, this has to be good. I don't want to go out there and market something that's not good. I'm going to make sure it's good, dang it. So he's over there, helping to craft the freaking stats and abilities, going and testing them, making sure that they're good, talking to the community and the other testers. He's like leading the whole thing by the hand from the beginning all the way to, all right, now let's tell the world. So he's very involved. For those of you who don't know, he's not just sitting there with a megaphone saying, okay, what do you want me to shout next? He's refining the narrative and the product that's being sold. And then Dave, of course, holy crap, Dave is my greatest blessing and curse, because he's pushing us and pushing us to do more and more and more, and we're like, no more. He says, yeah, you could do a little bit more. He's like that coach from high school, or if you guys ever played sports, he just like, you think you've done everything you could, and he's there saying, no, you could do a little bit more. Give me a little bit more, like one of those trainers at the gym. One more. So yeah, it was interesting. It had ups and downs, but at the same time, it was a blast. And I'm glad we came through the other end.
Yeah, I echo all of that. And I saved you for last, Nate. I think you know why. Initially I thought, we were just going to have more of a fun call where we all kind of talk about this stuff, talk to the community about the set and everything. But I was informed before the call that you have something you also want to share with the community.
Yeah, definitely. And you know me, I'll lead up to it, not by talking, but let me talk about let me share one other thing first before I get to the thing.
The thing before
Something
the
that
thing.
we were going to release along with Conclave, and this is actually, again, big props over to Blaze. Blaze is the one who pushed this and said, you know what, this is we really need this. And what I mean by something that's been missing when you click play is a couple of game modes. So when you look at what's going to happen in the next update or two is you're going to finally see click on play, and you're going to see 2 more containers pop up, which is challenge and practice mode. And he was very adamant that, like, look, we really need this shown as game modes. And I can imagine why. You got great community members like B Jangles and Fat Jimmy championing the benefits of treating these as independent game modes and not just some duct tape thing that's hidden in a corner that you got to go click on the lobby and rank play, and then maybe you find it up there and maybe you don't in the secondary nav. No, they needed more to be celebrated and appreciated by those who just coming in and just want to play, right? So so we did work on that. And then also big props to Lily Fire, because she lit a fire under my butt to, like, say, no, Blaze is right, we need to get this done. So she's making tickets and making sure that we're getting it done, right? So just to give you guys a quick preview before we move on to the other thing. So practice mode, let me see, what do we got here? So practice mode, you got something like this. We're kind of doing a redesign because they're right. I didn't want to just shove out the same old UI and be like, okay, there you go. It has little containers. No, let's give it the respect it deserves. So you got practice mode where you got that. Let's see, and then match found. So you go in there and you choose, hey, do I want to battle an inept student or a skilled student or a professor? That determines the difficulty rating. We wanted there to be a narrative because practice happens in the academy, in the safe confines of the training room. So you might go up against a student, and Mancio, one of our devs, was kind enough. He's like, I don't know if I could get this in, Nate, but no, he got it in. He was able to get the characters and stuff. Let me see, and then the battlefield. For those of you guys who have seen screenshots of campaign mode and what we want to do with the battlefields, we want to do the same thing with these other game modes. So you got the training room background, so you get a new battlefield background, and then for challenge mode, you got let me see, where's challenge mode? Here's the redesign of challenge mode, and then when you go over to, let me find it, challenge, ready, which one did I share? Oh, okay. And then you see the idea being that this takes place over in what's called dueling circles, away from the crowds of the arena. So you go off into the forest and you find one of these ancient dueling circles, and you'll see the background at which it takes place. So of course, they get a new background as well, and that looks like this. So I thought that was just a fun, cool thing, even though you guys already had those access to those modes of play. I thought it was worth giving it a little polish, like, wipe the dust off, give it some polish, and hopefully with the new redesign from here, I'm looking forward to the community. Go to the Discord, go to the UX channel, talk to Lily Fire. She'll make the tickets. But once you've had a chance and we introduce it and you guys had a chance to play with it, I want to hear what you guys have to say about what are your guys' ideas on how we could expand upon these game modes that were previously hidden away. What can we do to make these game modes better and just as cool and amazing and popular as our current other major game modes? So just wanted to share that first because I thought it was fun. It was a cool and interesting thing that's coming up pretty soon. From what I saw, Mancio, the dev working on it, it was like 90% done. So just a little bit more, test it, and you guys will be playing with it in no time. Now on to the bigger news. And then I'll share this as quickly as possible because I want to pass the baton back to Dave and Blaze.
Hold on, Nate. Before you do that, I think Ron needs to do something in your background.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
All right. The flashing green gives you a clue. as to I'm gonna give you a little bit of a backstory. So this was actually we wanted a new card. We knew that the Kalen Gaines, which is currently the voucher card in the voucher shop right now, needed to be replaced at some point. And you guys noticed that there was a DAO proposal. I think it was originally championed by Gold Matters and others. And Claiborne made it, and it passed. And it was to create the Matt card, because we want to celebrate Matt. He's a cool CEO, and it's great. And we did get Archmage Yabanias card into the game that you guys can go chase after right now. But we thought that's not enough. That's not enough, particularly as the proposal said, let's make this also accessible to as many people as possible. So I'm going to blame Claiborne for this one. You guys, Claiborne really drove it. He's the one who really went to bat for the DAO and the community and the players in general. Says, look, I really want this. And what he envisioned was based upon, I don't know if you guys ever saw Matt's Discord avatar. I'll put it in here just so you guys get a reminder. But next time you guys click on Matt's Discord profile, you'll see that he uses his Rooney as his profile pic. And what is his Rooney holding? It's holding a pickle. And I know that Claiborne's in Discord teasing pickles. In fact, it looks like Claiborne even stuck it in his Discord name, Claiborne Pickles. So I've noticed the memes over the last week related to pickles. And we went ahead and said, okay, fine, Claiborne, crazy weirdo. Let's go ahead and create a pickle. So Joey, our narrative lead, made an unbelievable story. I can't wait for you guys to read the lore. But essentially, the lore revolves around Yaba's pickle, the pickle that the Rooney is holding. So the concept artwork originally revolved around, okay, how do we turn Yaba into, basically a miniature pickle version. So essentially this was the concept art. And then I don't even know, Matt, did you know this was going on? Were you following in the team chatter?
I not directly. I was indirectly hearing about it, and I was very confused for a long while. But this is the first I've seen this drawing of it.
Gotcha. So basically, we put if you look at Yaba's card, his legendary card, he's wearing his outfit, or if you ever got one of his business cards, you'll see the same outfit. So we put the outfit on a pickle. And if you guys are interested in getting a taste of what it would be like to play with Yaba's pickle, then here it is in all its glory with the stats. And I'm gonna pass the baton pretty soon to Blaze, so because he tested it, he made sure that this was a freaking exciting and amazing card to play with. But as you notice, it is a common card. It's going to be in the voucher shop. It's going to be accessible.
I think I think we might actually sell it for DEC and credits, not necessarily vouchers.
Oh, really? Okay. Well,
that's still TBD. But we do have some other ideas for some new voucher shop cards. And also I think with SPS staking requirements, so it'll be cheap and accessible. But it's sort of similar to what we did with Ruse, I guess, a little while back, requiring you to be invested in the game to purchase it.
Yeah. So no, that's awesome. However it is, it sounds like it's going to be accessible in some way or another to as many people as possible. So I'm excited. I mean, the first thing I look at, of course, is holy crap, this thing's weapons trainable. I'm thinking of all the cards that have weapons training that once paired with this card, I don't know, Blaze, you're the one who really tested this card inside and out, along with the Claiborne and the rest of the testers. I think collectively everyone was like, "Yep, this is it." So yeah, I'll hand off to you to talk about the merits of that card and anything else.
Did we lose Blaze? I'm not seeing him on our.
He dropped off. So
he got too excited. He got too excited.
I think
So
he
maybe-
passed out with excitement. But
Yeah.
let me. I see some questions coming in. Let me clarify some of the things until he gets back. Not on the gameplay, but on the distribution. So it's going to be 150 deck, I believe, is what Royal and Matt came up with, or credits. You will need. It will be like the Brews in that you have to have 1,000 SPS staked per card. So if you have 10,000 staked, you can buy 10 cards. If you have, 100,000 stake, you can buy 100 cards. They're going to be commons. You will be able to use gold foil potions and black foil potions to mint. Not you get the regular foil, but you got a chance of minting a gold foil and a chance of getting a black foil if you use the black foil potions. And secondarily, the arcanes, we're going to have 2 new distribution methods for the arcanes. The gold foil, there's going to be a pause in, for like, let's say 30 days that you can mint the card. And then after the 30 days, you're going to have a 50-day cycle where you can win the gold foil arcane in an auction. So 1 card every day for 50 days. And the way you're going to get your raffle tickets is you're going to craft those raffle tickets on land. So you're going to use Aura and some other resources to make the raffle tickets. That's TBD in terms of what it is. But essentially, if you want to get a gold foil arcane, you can get lucky and get it. And then after that, after the 50 days, we'll have a small break, and then we'll set up the next way, which is going to be the black foil arcane. And there will be 20 of those numbered, one of 20 through 20 of 20. They'll start with the higher numbers, and there will be actual auctions. So similar to what we did with Louise the Hollow, these will be auctions. We'll start with number 20 out of 20. Next day we'll do 19 out of 20. Next day 18 out of 20, all the way until we get down to the number 1 of 20. And the way that will go is the auction points that you bid with will also be crafted on land. So both these new ways of playing the raffle and the auction will both only be able to use, you won't be able to use money. You'll have to actually craft the items that you use in the either raffle or auction. So it should be really fun. That's 70 days of getting these super special cards.
Yeah, I knew the pickle was going to be involved. I didn't know it was like literally a pickle in the same outfit called Yabba's pickle.
Wait do you read the lore, Matt?
Okay,
You're gonna
I'm
love
not sure I want to. My family plays, and watches this stuff. No, that's awesome. Originally, the concept was for a young Yabba Nias. I guess that morphed over time. I hear Clayboyne had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, blame Clay.
No, it's cool, and we especially really like the auction mechanic. It was super fun for Heloise. Looking forward to doing it again for more than just the pickle card. And I think on our to-do list going forward, we also would like to have the ability for players to auction cards. So when you pull the 1 of 1 black foil arcane legendaries, we can have players run their own auction right within the site. I think that would be super cool. So there'd be a bunch of different auctions going on. People can maximize their value for the cards. So yeah, I think auctions are going to be a big thing going forward. All right.
Blaze is on. So one thing I will want to give credit to is Royal Eagle. Royal Eagle had a lot to do with the design of the card. He really not only worked with the team testing, but also the community testing. Worked with Clay, not just on the Yabba pickle, but also on all the other cards. So he deserves credit. And of course, Bob, who's also not on the call. Bob did a great job on the set. So I just want to throw that in there before Blaze talks about the card. You're back, Blaze. Yes. Oh,
They
okay.
can't hear Blaze. while we're getting Blaze back on the thing, I also want to second the shout out to Royal Eagle. I've asked him if he wants to come on the town halls. He's politely declined, which I respect. But yeah, he obviously leads the support team. But at this point, the support team is also our QA team. And just generally being involved and handling lots of different things all over the place. So this stuff would not have happened without Royal and their team's involvement. So good shout out to him there.
Great. Yeah, no, sorry about that thunderstorm here. I had a power outage, but I'm back. Yeah, that card, the blame Clay and Nate for following through with the art on the pickle. And then for the card might being a little overpowered, blame Royal. I mean, that card is a pretty cool card. So you guys grab your copies. You're going to want that one. It's especially with the weapons trainer cards that we have. So I'm excited to use that card a lot.
Does it pair well with the other Matt card?
It does.
Yeah,
best
yeah, the Yaba, the Archmage and the Pickle card together, a deadly and kind of scary combo. All right, cool. Nate, you don't have anything else, right? I just want to check before I.
Oh
move on.
no, that's yeah. That we're just recovering from the Conclave launch. I think next thing on our plate is right now we're neck deep in making sure that engineering doesn't need anything else they need to finish up campaign mode, and of course we're also neck deep in figuring out conflicts and mage dragons and all that good stuff. So nothing to share yet, but yeah, we're guys, none of the team is just sitting back and we're on to the next thing. There's lots of stuff.
Yeah,
coming.
and it's proof will always outdo promise, right? And I don't know if you guys noticed, the announcements are rather short, and then we're always on to the next thing. So we'd even mentioned the Google app, right? How cool is that? It's live, it's working, it's got over 1,000 downloads, it's happening. We're having some the community's leaving some great reviews, and it's just something that we're on to the next thing already. So that's what really, really excites me. I have a few things though, like it's just an action-packed month. The pre-sale was 1,068 people at the end, that distinct buyers, and $2.41 million. After we've already about 30% already came in addition to that. So we're up to 1,362 players buying packs off the store, which is awesome. And the total sales is sitting at about 2.54 million. So really cool stuff.
Yeah, I wanted to. That's good that you brought that up, because one of the things that was surprising to me, I was blown away by the amount that came in during the pre-sale. I had forecasted significantly less than that. It was more than the Rebellion pre-sale, I think, both in like number of accounts that participated and the dollar amount, which is awesome. But then even more, the sales have been very strong since the general sale started. I didn't know if everyone got all their packs in during the pre-sale and that was it. It was done. But no, it's been really strong, which obviously benefits. In case you don't remember, benefits all of you guys. Benefits the SPS token. Benefits the DAO. In addition to the company. So it was great to see that was strong. And then we've had almost 300 additional accounts participate and buy packs that did not buy during the pre-sale. So yeah, that's all those are great to see and are really encouraging. I also want to give a shout out to Han V for making the end of the pre-sale really exciting there. I heard his whole story of how he planned that out and hid things and moved it all around at the last minute and got that in. But yeah, I was watching the pre-sale stream like a lot of you guys. That was pretty crazy seeing that pop in there with 80 million DEC right in the last few seconds. So shout out to you there, and to everyone who participated, especially the people on the top of the leaderboard that put a lot of money, put a lot of faith and time into this product. This wouldn't happen without all you guys doing that. So yeah, it's just really, really amazing to see. And Dave mentioned earlier, I sent a message to the team after the release. Part of it was that I feel like we've been struggling for a number of years now. Um, and this to me feels like an inflection point, in a lot of ways, not just the community sentiment, value, the how the team is working out, the the business is in a much better spot. All these different things. Um, yeah, it really feels like an inflection point to me where we can look back and say, this is when things started going the other direction, really, for us. Um, so yeah, looking forward to see how that plays out, and what we do to make that happen. Um, I'll talk a little bit about stuff coming up, and then we'll, and not too long, we'll get to community questions. We mentioned that there was the apps live in the Google Play Store. Obviously, we are working on an iOS app as well. The Apple Store is just a bit more of a pain in the ass about this stuff. So we're going through and dealing with all the little issues that they've found, but I expect that'll be approved at some point. We have conflicts that are coming up in the not too distant future, so you'll be able to stake your Conclave Arcana cards and packs along with your Rebellion cards and packs in order to earn the new legendary airdrop cards, and in the future the airdrop summoners. There's going to be land resources involved in creating new wagons for the conflicts this time around. So hopefully that will help keep sales going, strong throughout the life of the set. As you guys know, we're working on survival mode updates. We've paused survival mode for right now, so we're not just giving out SPS, while we kind of regroup on that and make a bunch of changes. But I'm still super excited for survival mode. I have a ton of extra copies of a lot of the Conclave Arcana cards, and I plan, as soon as survival mode's back open, to start using all those in survival mode. So I'm not looking to sell any of my duplicates on the market. I'm like, yeah, that's just more survival mode cards. So that's something that was never available before. I never had a use for any extra cards. I guess I could use them on land, but I already bought like a ton of Chaos Legion cheap cards and stuff, to fill up all the land plots I've been able to use. So I'm like, well, I still need more cards now to play in survival mode. So that's coming up. And then still, campaign mode and the foundation set. Those are a bit behind where I wanted to hopefully have them out before now. But I think it was fine that we all focused on such an amazing Conclave release. That's a high priority, to get that out in the pretty near future, and that's going to be really key for our new player onboarding, to go with our marketing efforts. Just having that, like, much more than just a simple tutorial, like a whole game mode that lets you learn as you go, takes you through, you earn stuff as you go. You have a whole set that's sort of a free to play set, that you can earn, that doesn't mess up the rest of the game, can't be taken advantage of by bot armies and all that stuff. So it's a really nice way to get all new players into the game. And then we've talked about expanding that from the new player onboarding campaign, adding a whole bunch of different stories and different campaigns, boss fights, all this different stuff. So that'll be the beginning of our PVE experience for our existing players. So that's a really big one that's coming soon. And then beyond that, I think we're going to have a meeting with the team, in the near future. Investigators put together a list of like all the ideas that have come from internally, the community, who knows where they came from. Big long list of everything. We'll go through. Everyone usually goes through and picks what ones they think they want to focus on, and we all kind of decide what we can do and how long it's going to take to plan out the second half of the year. So I look forward to maybe in the next town hall to kind of share our next 6-month roadmap with you guys, which should be pretty exciting. Do you guys, Dave and Blaze, do you want to talk a little bit about the marketing and what we're doing, what we're planning to do?
Yeah, let me address that, because I was asked, or it was asked in the town hall channel. So I wanted to address, like what happened with Andrew, or where's all the stuff that he talked about a couple town halls ago. Essentially, we still used Andrew to do a few things. We do have a new design of the front page that is being worked on, or not worked on, been delivered to us. It's being worked on by our internal team to fit it in basically and make it work, on our site. But in terms of other things, we paused that. And to be honest, just because we feel that we can do it more effectively than the way in which it was going to be done. So,
especially cost effectively.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Right. So, in other words, we want to be in a position where when we do marketing, it's effective, right? We don't want to just spend money to spend money. That's the easiest way for companies to go out of business. Just throw money at something, have it not stick, and then you're out of money. And then what are you going to do, right? So, we needed to have a better plan, make sure that we, like Matt had talked about Blaze and the product development side that, he was on, making sure it was structured properly. That's actually part of marketing as well, right? So, making sure your product is something you can sell is a big deal. And Blaze has been great on that. He spent a lot of time. He's doing a fantastic job. So anybody that says, well, where's the marketing, right? Like nobody's doing that. Like that's not even close to being true. So we've done a lot of stuff on marketing. We have pilot projects going, is how I define them. They're not full blown spend $200,000 and make some big splash. They're much more incremental type things so that we can make sure that we get the metrics back and make sure that if we're going to spend $10,000 on something, what's our payback? What how are the players sticking? How many showed up? All those kind of separate metrics. We have them all built on the back end. That was also part of what needed to be done. And so at the end of the day, you're going to see more of I guess it's not going to be one big boom. It's going to be incremental steps along the way. That's one day you're going to wake up and you're going to say, holy crap, they actually did do a lot of marketing, right? And to give an example, we have something happening next week that you're going to start seeing little green hearts showing up in Discord, right? For new people that are coming to play the game. We haven't really talked a lot about it, but I mean, you'll notice it, right? If you come to Discord, you're gonna see that, right? And the part about that I would also like to say is, in the past when we didn't have a lot of new players coming in, it was not the end of the world that maybe we were a little negative in Tavern, right? Like from time to time, people, would be like, throwing fights back and forth here and there or picking on something. But when you're seeing those green hearts coming in to Discord, try to have your fights in the private channels and not in the public channel, right? Like use the term like everybody love everybody. Let's kind of keep that for Tavern, right? Like let's give these players that are coming in, not the, like at one time somebody said, I just came in and I just bought like 5 packs, did I do good? And somebody, like said something like, nah, you need like 50 packs or 100 packs. Like those aren't good answers, right? Like let's all support, let's all support these new people coming in because again, we're in this together. We're a great community. We've got some hardened veterans. And at the end of the day, the goal is to have people at the low end and people at the high end. We've done great. Like one of the most beautiful things about our game is the amount of money that our players spend. Like no other game, to my knowledge, has the size of the people that spend the amount of money that they do. And what that really means is the confidence that you guys have in us as a company. And that's beautiful. That tells you right there that we have a premium game that's just off the chart. Now all we have to do is fill it in at the low end, and that's kind of where we are. So make a long story short, you're not going to see the big boom, from Andrew that he discussed, we're not throwing, 400,000 or 500,000 at it, next week. But we do have a plan, and we're executing that plan. And as Blaze said, we're up 30%. We literally have had 30% increase in the first 2 days of people that have participated in pack sales after the pre-sale, meaning pre-sale, yeah, sure, everybody was new. I mean, everybody was existing, right? So those 1,000 people were existing people. Since then, we had 30% of new accounts come in and start to buy the product. So, we're getting there. So, all right, Blaze, I can turn it over to you now. You got to get off mute, Blaze.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. And marketing's a big umbrella, and there's a lot we have going on, and a lot of things fall under marketing, and we're going to get there, and we're going to do it strategically, and we're going to pinpoint the areas that we are strong in. And once everything catches up, like the campaign mode and stuff, we can start targeting those audiences that we're looking to capture. But in the meantime, we have the crypto pros and the collectors that love this stuff, and we already have them coming in from the Cosmos. We have them coming in from Wax. So we're doing it, but it's organic creative is the way to go right now. And then once we have it where we can have good results and good metrics, then we can amplify the message. So
yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, we're still working with Andrew and their team just on like specific things at specific prices that we think make sense and we can afford. Like, for example, the redesign of our homepage specifically to, help get more signups and retain people. But yeah, we're kind of leading the whole thing internally versus turning it like completely over to them, and making sure that we wait until the things that we need are in place, which will be soon. I was hoping they would be in place, already, but some things slip a little bit, like the iOS app and the campaign mode, and then make sure we don't just throw a bunch of money out right away, not knowing if it's going to work out for us, but to test things out and slowly build on that. So that's where we are there. I mean, I don't know. We can, we didn't really mention land. I feel like it should at least get a good mention. Cryptomancer is 100% focused on land, paid for by the DAO. He is still working on that. We're kind of working. He's working on some like kind of back end stuff, like making harvest all, making it, if you transfer resources from one region to another, it'll go through the market, rather than just like a separate transfer and a separate fee. So it'll add more market volume and more fees to liquidity providers, some stuff like that. In the meantime, we're also going to be adding a bunch more use cases for land resources. Where there's going to be mage wagons. We talked about the raffle tickets for the pickle arcane cards. There's probably going to be land involvement for the Phoenix Ash or Revival Potions, which should be a part of the updated survival mode. So, while he's working on that kind of back end stuff, there's going to be a bunch more, utility coming for the land resources. And then, and then we'll start working on more of the land 2.0 stuff, bits and pieces as we go through new work sites, buildings, all that stuff. I don't know. Is there anything? I feel like that kind of covers the main thing. Should we? It's been an hour. Should we jump over to questions?
Sure.
All right. Let's open it up for questions in Discord and Twitch and YouTube. I think Ron has it set up for questions from the other channels to come over to Discord, and I will read them off there.
Make sure every time the pickles mention though, Nate's background flashes. Ron.
All right. All right. First question I see from Bitcoin Sig. Can we expect more things to come to holders of Rooney? We have planned to allow combined traits to create super Roonies and to burn excess Roonies, increasing value, but this never materialized. Currently, rare Roonies don't matter for utility and aren't worth much more than a floor Rooney. Allowing for the rare traits to have utility, perhaps on land, and if done in combination with combining, would offer more trade activity, project visibility, and maintain values on OpenSea. I mean, I would say yes, we definitely want to do more things for Rooney, and especially to focus on the specific traits rather than just Rooney in general. That's going to come down to, again, it's all a prioritization exercise. So we have to look at the entire project and pick out. We can only do so many projects with the resources we have. So it's going to come down to how much work something like that is and where it makes sense to slot it in compared to everything else that we have to do. I don't know if anyone else has a comment on that, but feel free to jump in.
I think that in internal meetings, whenever we see an opportunity to be like, oh yeah, and Rooney, whether that's making Rooney evergreen now, which it is, right? I think we made it so that it's always playable. And then of course the land, but yeah, I mean, I think that it's on everyone's mind on the team, but like Matt said, priorities. But as we see low lift opportunities, I mean, I think everyone wants the same thing.
Yeah. I would say, I mean, these guys probably get tired of hearing me say it, but I'm just going to make the point because like we have to focus on broadening our base and get new players. So a lot of focus is going to be on that. And I think, like a lot of development that you're going to see going forward is going to be for things that really make that happen. So I just want everybody to kind of understand, like, we're not where we want to be. We're definitely on our way, and we've got a lot of exciting, cool things planned. And of course, things like Rooney, like somebody said something about black foil cards the other day. Like we should have black foil cards for, older sets and things like that. Like a lot of these things we're definitely going to focus on. But, most importantly, just so everybody knows, our focus is going to be on making sure that we do cool stuff that attracts and retains new players, because that's a big deal.
Yeah, definitely. All right, sorry, I got lost in the chat here. Let me go back to the last question. Question from Dehoda: how do we get our hands on that pickle? Yeah, we're gonna have the details out in a post in the near future, but yeah, it'll be available in the shop for DEC and credits. But you'll need to have SPS staked in order to get them as well. So I'm pretty sure most everyone listening to this probably has their SPS staked. But if you don't, now would be the time. Intrepid Surfer is asking, to each of you, if you could, what would you want to develop by year end? Oh boy, I guess I'll go first and jump around to everyone else. I mean, there's obviously like many more than one things I would want to develop by year end. So I don't know. I mentioned here's one thing that I mentioned earlier, but I'll throw it out again. Is just like an in-game auction system that's open to everybody. I think especially now with these new types of cards, the 101s and all that stuff. Just being able to list it on the market is not really sufficient. How do you know how much to list it for? There's only one of them. It's not like you can look at the price that all the other ones sold at. So. It's really difficult to properly price and get the value you want out of these cards for those of you who want to sell it, which is one of the coolest parts of the game. So having an in-house auction system, where players can just list their own items for auction, I think will be really cool. And the auctions are just really exciting. So having more of those on a regular basis will be fun. I don't know, Dave, what do you think?
Mine's going to be pretty simple. I want to develop whatever it takes to get, I would say conservatively, 2,000 people a month coming into the game. So whatever that is, whether it's a new mode, whether it's a cool way of playing our mode, whether it's some mechanic it draws people in, you know, it's fine with me, whatever. That, like, I'm just squarely focused on that.
Cool. I don't know, Investi, they're the next on my screen.
Yeah, it's a tough one because that's what we've been starting to look at is our giant list of projects that we could do. I would like to see some of the new game modes get done in the next 6 months. So either a draft mode or a sealed mode or some other new gameplay mechanic that we've kicked around but never really finished out. I don't know if that's the top of my list. There's a lot of good ideas, but that's something that comes to mind for me.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, obviously, right. This is not like the only thing that we think we want to get done. It's one of many things that we hope and we hopefully will get done by the end of the year. Blaze, what do you want to see?
Yeah, if I only have to pick one, it's definitely in-game trading and sending buy offers and trade offers to people.
Yeah.
Because of the whole, it would complete the circle of the collector, right? Like I really appreciate Investi sending me that number one, so I can send them another one, number one back. But that's because we know each other, and and I think a lot of our community members we can trust. But that would just remove the trust and just make it on the blockchain as it should be, I would say. So that would be my number one.
Cool. Yeah, in the same vein as the auctions and everything, I've been doing some trades already for black foils. So that would be a great feature to add. That's even more important now than it has been.
Right. You see that pop up, right? The alert, and you want that arcane. You just go right to that account and say, $5,000, baby.
Yeah, right.
Send it.
All right, Nate, what are you thinking?
It's always scary to ask Nate what he wants. I don't know. There's a million ideas internally we've tossed around. I would say the top of my list. Who knows what when or if, but I would look forward to the day when we someday have custom avatars. Choose the race and all that stuff. I want to make the players really feel like battle mages. That would be very exciting to me.
Yeah, definitely. I think we can do a lot more, especially with campaign mode, with the story and the immersion and the experience, things like that. So, all right, there you go. We went around the room to get some thoughts. Hopefully, we'll have all those things and more certainly by the end of the year. Let's move on to Flowey. It says, will the pickle raffle tickets or the wagons require a new permit for a special building to be bought for secret points? That means research points. Probably not. We're probably going to use Aura and the other existing resources for right now. We don't just want to go start adding a million different permits and work sites all over the place. And instead focus, because you have to make sure the UI supports that and everything's in place. And we'd rather kind of start working towards Land 2.0, which is already going to have like a million other buildings and resources. So we're going to use what we have for now, while we're simultaneously building out the new additional stuff on land. Question. There's a lot of pickle focused questions here. No piece for you. What lands are needed for pickles? I think you will not need any land just to buy the card. You'll just need SPS staked and then DEC or credits. But for the arcane versions that we're going to be auctioning or having a raffle for, then you will need to craft things using land resources. And again, we'll have all the details out in a post shortly.
And you can buy those resources too. If you don't have land to make it yourself, you can actually go to the shop and buy the stuff you need.
Yeah. Question from Dan Trin: when will you create a potion to remove the 3-day cooldown for cards? I think I've been thinking that when we add the revival or Phoenix Ash potions for survival mode, that those could potentially also be used to remove the cooldowns on the cards. So just get double value out of those. Another question from Flowey: are you planning to include black foils in the airdrops for conflicts? Yeah, yes, we are. And then I think there'll also be the arcanes that are going to be added into the bucket that will be able to be pulled from packs. So just like, in previous conflicts, you have a chance to get the gold foil cards, and these ones you'll have a chance to get gold foil and a smaller chance to get black foil, and then everyone opening packs will have a chance to pull the arcanes.
Gator's bucket, to be specific.
Gator's bucket, yeah. Question: now that bloodlines are added, what do you guys think about adding bloodline synergy with land, similar to the ways we spoke about bonuses to certain rarer cards way back when land was just theory crafting and ideas of what it could be? Yeah, I don't know. Go ahead, Dave.
We're actually exploring a lot of different things that we can do for land cards. Nothing has been decided. One of the ways that we've discussed is possibly having some land abilities put on cards, and something like what you described with the bloodline synergy could certainly be part of that discussion. It's not something that we're ready to do, right now, but it's certainly something we're talking about.
Yeah. A lot of these, I mean, all these ideas are kind of on the table at this point. Another question from Flowey: are you planning to combine campaign mode with land resources? Also, possibly. At the moment, we're just focusing on getting the first campaign out. That's for new players. That one obviously will not be, have anything to do with land and land resources. But again, once we get to designing the new campaigns for our existing players, I think we're going to have these discussions with all these ideas on the table. How can we integrate land or vouchers or glint or whatever it is, and make, that I guess overall, I really love how with Conclave, sort of every single different part of the game, I feel like is come together and is working together. So I want to keep that going. I don't want to feel like, oh, there's ranked play, and then over here there's land, and then separately there's SPS staking and vouchers, like of three kind of separate buckets. Like it's just all part of the same ecosystem, and you need, everything is part of everything else, is just the high level of how I like to look at things. Keegs is asking, how much of the HBD do we have left from the Hive proposal? We've at least converted all of the HBD over to Hive. When internally we felt like the Hive price was low. I don't know. I off the top of my head, I'd say we have maybe half of it left and available. But obviously, we're gonna, we'll, if we need more than that or whatever, we'll use funds that we got in from the Conclave Arcana sale and all that stuff to make this happen. So it's just kind of been put in with our available funds in the business to kind of make it happen. And what, to be clear, what we've been spending that on is all the work to do, like the redesigned homepage that's going to be coming out, a lot of the work around campaign mode and foundation set, and stuff for the new players, is all like under that umbrella of our marketing spend, and the apps, especially. Like we hired Studkev, who did the Hive keychain app, to build our mobile apps. So all that work is part of our marketing efforts, even though it's kind of like the back end portion of it to support the marketing efforts. And then we'll start to see the consumer facing parts of it soon, as we just talked about. Changles is asking, we know water is your favorite element, but the real question is, what's your favorite periodic table element? I have no idea. I have never been. He didn't specifically say to me. He just said your favorite element. So if anyone else here has a favorite element on the periodic table they want to share, go for it.
He's running on very little sleep. Just want to let everybody know.
Well, he stumped the team. Maybe I'll think about that one, and next time you have me on the People's Guild show, I'll hopefully have a good answer for it. How about that? Question from Fat Jimmy: can pickles be grown on land at some point as a superfood, or let us grow cucumbers, process into pickles as a special brinery building? Maybe. Should I just leave that one at maybe?
Yeah.
We'll put it on the list of ideas. Yeah, I mean, I guess we do have the idea of salt and desalinization, so you could brine the cucumbers and make pickles. Question from Vetev or Vetv, Jimmy V of the Jimmies. The black foil seems to significantly alter the pack buying and opening behaviors of players relative to the card market because each black foil is maxed. One could consider a common black foil represents hundreds of packs worth of opening to max that same card, with 400 regular foils or 38 gold foils copies required. Those regular and gold foils now go on the market. Did your calculations consider the effect, and how do you think it'll play out? Are you concerned it will inadvertently reduce pack sales? Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that was considered. Um, I guess the short summary is that it's possible that players will have a lot more cards that they're selling on the market if they get a black foil card, because it's just a max level card, so they wouldn't need any like gold foil or regular foil versions of that card. I don't think there's any way we can really. It's like extremely difficult to actually predict how this stuff's going to play out. So from my perspective, that may happen a little bit, but the black foil cards are pretty rare. I mean, the commons are obviously more common than the other ones. So my expectation is that, if those people who get the black foil cards are selling the other cards on the market, it won't be like such a huge amount that it like makes a big overall difference. But we're gonna have to see. And then also the flip side of that is we have other things in the game like land obviously and survival mode now that encourage people to get multiple copies of cards. So I was just talking about earlier, like I'm trying to get a whole black foil set if I can, but I'm not selling any of the other cards because I'm still going to use them in survival mode, right? And I'll use my black foil ones in modern, and then I could use the other copies in survival mode. So yeah, it's a possibility. I highly doubt it's going to reduce pack sales, just considering how things have been going so far. And I already like opened more packs than I planned, and then we're going to buy more packs probably later on, specifically because of the black foils and the arcane cards. But we're ultimately going to have to see how it goes.
Yeah, I would let me chime in as well, Matt. Like, yes, I definitely considered it, and no, I don't think it's going to be a problem for this reason. Our market is a very efficient market. Like I actually bought 38 packs today, 38 starter packs. I bought 2,500 alchemy packs. So I just got bored and had some extra money and went out and bought 36 packs today. And when so I spent $36 or 36 dollars at deck at peg. And then I went to the market, went and saw what the value of those was using the Peak Monster site, and it was $38. So the point is that the market is going to price the cards to match the price of the packs. And if we don't have demand, they're just not going to buy the packs, which is fine, right? Like that's kind of how we set it up, right? Like if we have a lot of people playing that want to buy the cards, then they're going to buy the $1 packs to make sure that they get those. If we don't have a lot of people playing and we have these extra cards that people don't want, then those will be on the market and the players will buy those instead, right? And then there will be people that arbitrage that process. So it's really not a question of do the black foils take away from the sales. I would actually argue the other argument. We have a lot like Matt, who bought a lot of legendary packs, has a lot less common regular foils than he would have had he, desired to have the same black foils if he just bought standard packs. So, there's a lot less waste, in other words, by the way this is structured. So, I think it's going to be great. Not to mention, the whole dynamic of how these packs are going to get more and more valuable as time goes. So I think that's gonna be a factor too. So no, I'm not worried about reducing pack sales at all.
Yeah, and then obviously, if our goal is to get a whole lot of new players in here, so that should increase pack sales and reduce pull cards off the market too, if we're successful at that. So there's like a bunch of different factors. Some are sort of more inflationary for cards. Some are deflationary. Hopefully, they play out more to the overall benefit of everybody is the goal. All right, a question from Mongo Wombo. How's the company's financial status? Do we have enough runway to turn these ideas into reality? I mean, yeah, considering a lot of it came down to how Conclave Arcana went. So far, it's significantly exceeded expectations. So that puts us in a very solid position. And assuming we are able to continue moving forward with decent pack sales, I mean, obviously we expect them to, go. There's typically a lull during the middle of the set, but hopefully with the conflicts and the marketing efforts, we keep pack sales going strong, and that benefits both the DAO, token prices, and the company. So at this point, we are going strong financially, and should be able to just keep going and again actually like start hopefully growing, rather than sort of struggling as we've had for a while, like I mentioned, that inflection point. So yeah, looking good at the moment.
And just real quick, a side note: the secondary market's doing really good. People are having a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of fun buying and selling. I think it was 320,000 30-day volume, and on top of the main sale, that's really good. That's a good sign.
Yeah, it's like 60,000 last 24 hours I see on the site right now.
Wow.
Yeah, really, really great to see. Okay, where were we here? Mark Hoare saying, now resources are very hard to get. It will be nice if we remove the 12% tax for moving resources in your account between regions. They should require vouchers, research, aura, etc. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we have any plans to remove the cost of moving resources between regions. Although there could be potentially, I guess it sounds like the suggestion is to use land tokens or vouchers to reduce that cost. So that's a possible option. But that's the type of thing we would get feedback on everybody internally and from the community and see if that makes sense to do and when.
Yeah, and there's so much going on, right? And I thought I saw Cryptomancer working on something where you can transfer between regions very easily, and it would reduce. I don't know. There's
He's
something.
he's changing it to use the internal market. So there'd be, I guess it would be a 10% fee, still, just like any market swap. But that way it adds more volume to the market, which adds more fees for the liquidity providers, which should hopefully get more liquidity and more DEC locked up and all that stuff, and tokens burned also.
Also, one thing about that question that I think everybody should understand is, yeah, we're at that point where people don't have extra slack like we used to in the old days, where you could just go burn some cards and go buy something, or rent your cards out and get a ton of extra income and then use that to buy everything. Like, we're at the point where our economy's gotten tight. There's not a lot of extra just floating around. And that's actually a good thing, because now as new money comes into the game that people want to buy stuff, they actually are having to put money into the system, which we're actually, that inflection point that Matt was talking about, we're actually at that inflection point for that as well. So as we create things that people want, like if you're going to want the pickle card, for instance, you're probably going to have to find a way to bring some money into the game to get it. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, again, just keep in mind that like any fees or any things in the game, like it doesn't go to the company, right? It all goes like to burning tokens or to the DAO. So it also benefits you, by sort of, it's a weird situation because you're used to like fees, going to someone else, governments, companies, whatever. But here it benefits all of the players that hold the SPS tokens and hold the assets. So it's you have to also think of it from that perspective. Question from Keegs from YouTube. It looks like, when in-game chat. Yeah, that is, I can confirm, at least one of the things on the big list of all the features we are gonna, look into whether or not we can add or what the priority is. There's a lot of considerations that go with that. I mean, obviously we have to be careful about moderation and all the pitfalls that could come with running a chat platform. Obviously, Discord and other chat platforms already integrate all of that for us nicely. So we have guild chat. It's very easy for us to add more chats into the game, but we want to make sure that we take care of all the potential problems that can come up. So it's a little bit bigger of a project than just throwing a chat room in there.
That said, we did talk about it last night or the night before, so it is a topic. So we're talking about it.
So sorry, scrolling down to try to find the next question here. Question from Mega Marcus. The primary use of the DHF was promised to be used on a top Web3 marketer and running a number of marketing and promotional campaigns. Are your current plans and decisions in line with the proposal 10 months ago? When does the Hive community get to see these campaigns? I mean, I think we're pretty much doing what we plan to do and said in the proposal. And everyone, Hive and Splinterlands community, are going to start seeing the campaigns as soon as they come live in the near future. I don't know. You guys have any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to spend the money on making sure that we market and do a good job, and we're going to use the money wisely. So
yeah, and we already have the ads getting prepared and being tested for X, right? For example, we already have it funded, and we're going to do test runs, and then you lean on to what campaigns produce the best results, and you just careful with that mindset, because again, if you just, it's easy to burn 500 grand. If you want us to just go run ads, we can go run ads, but that money will burn quick. So we have to be strategic about it.
Yeah. And also, I mean, Blaze was, our first hire that came out of those funds and that, so he's our lead marketer. And, I honestly don't think we could have gotten anyone better, just more like devoted and passionate about this project, which is at the end of the day, the most important thing. Question from Intrepid Surfer. If I want to print my own SPL t-shirt in Peru, how much would it cost in DEC royalties to do so? This is for 1 or 2 shirts of cards I like. Typically, we don't ask for any royalties or any payment to make shirts or merch. You can just reach out to us, to get, just an okay to make sure it's nothing ridiculous that would cause any problems. But other than that, I'm wearing merch that was created by Mass Paranoia, who's an artist in the area locally. I think you guys probably all saw that campaign, but we're happy for people to make merch that helps support the project and get the word out there. So yeah, just run it by us, but you shouldn't have to pay anything to do it. Let's see, I'm seeing a lot of more pickle comments. Question is another voucher question from Paul TRX. Sorry, Paul. Is another voucher card in the works? Does the DAO get a piece of the sweet pickle DEC? I think yes to both. I think there's still one more voucher card of the 4 that needs to come out after the current one. And then we're also talking about doing additional voucher cards after that. And then, yeah, I think definitely that the DAO gets a piece of everything that we're doing. I mean, my general vision is like, the DAO basically is selling everything in the game, and the company works for the DAO in that sense. And so the pickle card and everything we do is done that way. Question to Investigator from Mega Marcus. With the change of brawls because of Conclave Arcana release, guilds have to rearrange. It would be great if there's a possibility to change the set undonated guild points to permanent guild points without leaving a guild. Would this be a big deal to implement? You follow that one?
Yeah, so if you want to convert your undonated your temporarily located guild points to your guild to permanent, I mean, we could look at that, but I don't see why you'd want to do that, because if you've already got your guild points.
Yeah, I guess I didn't understand either why that has anything to do with rearranging for the new brawls.
Yeah, I mean, it's something we could look at doing. I don't know that it's high value change. Maybe I don't understand why you'd want to do that. If you want to put in a support ticket, we can add it to our backlog, maybe explain it in a little more detail there. We can add it to our backlog of things to look at.
Yeah, I guess talk about it maybe in the suggestions channel, or I think Royal and some other people on the team check that stuff. So maybe you could have a discussion on it there. And if it makes sense, I don't see why we wouldn't be able to do it. Question from Druid's Blood. I want Nate to let loose on the game thinking.
Is that a
He wants
question?
he wants to hear more than just the avatars, Nate. I've heard it too, so I think it's cool for you to let loose on some of your thoughts.
Oh no, you don't want that. No, I mean, I think it's important to remember. I think I saw, I don't know where the question was. Maybe it was earlier, or maybe it's coming up, but someone had asked about um our narrator for the trailer. I don't know where that question went, but I saw it. I saw it somewhere. Someone asked about Diane, who is the voice actor who has been part of our trailers before and other videos, and we brought her back, and they were asking about her. And yeah, she's one of many on-call contractors that yes, the team has gone through cutbacks over the last few years, and it was sad, but creative is interesting in that I don't like to burn bridges, particularly when the talent, and I'm getting around to the question about Nate thinking. Bottom line is that talent like Diane, or we brought back Madi and Alex, who are our environment artists, and a lot of Cal Jericho, who did a lot of the lore, assisting with Joey, our lead narrator, in that respect. A lot of people were their bat phone rang, and I was a little hesitant, like, crap, can you help us out? And they were just so ready. I love working with these guys because they were like, done deal, we're there. What do you need? And they just had all the same passion as they had before. And then our current permanent team that we currently have in place, Joey, who you guys know, Breaky Benjamin, our lead narrator, HTT, Tyler, our UI designer, Alfredo, who is our creative coordinator and oversees the art team, Paulo, Harless, Eddie, Larry. There's all these folks on the creative side, and so when I get back to, well, what is Nate thinking? I'm like, well, bear in mind what I'm good at is the fact that I've done all these things. I can draw, or I can do vector art, and I can do video editing, and I can do this and that and other. Asaria has it up on me. I've never done actual music composition, so I'm a little in the dark with Asaria, but she's amazing because I could just give her an idea or what's in my head, and she's able to make it come to life. So that's amazing. But as far as creative and myself personally, I usually just go and get on a call with all these amazing folks who are all each individually better at what than me at their particular given thing, whether it's writing or whether it's coming up with new ideas, or Tyler came up with a new game mode idea just out of the blue like yesterday. So I would say that it's not up to, oh, Nate, what is Nate thinking? It's more like, hey, creative and all the passion and all the people who are part of creative, what can they come up with collectively? And then I find that as we come up with ideas, what does the rest of the team think? And then support and engineering and Blaze and Dave and Matt and everybody else, they refine it even further, and before you know it, it becomes that amazing thing. So yeah, I have a lot of ideas, but personally, I think that it's us, the whole team, coming up with these ideas together and deciding how to prioritize them and fit them into place and all that stuff. That's where the magic sauce is at the end of the day. So there you go.
Yeah, we're gonna be going through with creative and everybody else, to make our second half of 2025 plan pretty soon. So hopefully you guys will start to see some of that announced and coming out in the not too distant future. Question from Clay. Is anyone from the team going to Hive Fest? Hive Fest, I believe, is in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia in October this year, for anyone who didn't know. I was able to go last year in Split, Croatia. I doubt I will be able to make this one. It's a bit much of a trip for me all the way out there. I don't know. I don't know if any of you guys thought about that or.
I volunteer, Dave.
Yeah. Yeah, Blaze is always going to volunteer me because I volunteer him for everything. So,
yeah, it's definitely a huge trip from the U.S. at least.
Yeah, we got a lot of work to do, so we probably are all going to need to be here. In fact, I think as we talked about earlier with Blaze and Harry, we pretty much work weekends too. So we got a lot of stuff to deliver.
Yeah, but if anyone else from the team is going, I'll definitely let the community know. I will say on that note that I am planning to go to Bitcoin 2025 in Las Vegas in a couple weeks. So it's less than a couple weeks. So if there's any Splinterlands people that are going to be in Vegas at the end of the month, shoot me a message on Discord or something. Maybe we can have a little impromptu get together or something like that. That could be cool.
Are you going to be speaking?
No, I'm just going, personally for fun. It seems like it's going to be an insane event, especially with like Bitcoin near all-time highs. Just one I did not want to miss as a big fan of Bitcoin for many years. And it's always fun going to Vegas. Maybe I'll check out the HyperX Arena and reminisce about Splinterfest. Think about when we can do another one of those. Question from Garut. When can we unlock Soulbound Gladiator cards? That's a good question. I mean, another thing that's on our big list of ideas is a new Gladiator set. We're pretty overdue for that. So I don't know if that's something that'll make the cut. But that would probably be a good point for allowing unlocking of Gladiator cards. But again, with any of this stuff, if the community is really wants some of these things, that's kind of what the proposal system is for. So if you can kind of drum up support for these things, that can help influence what we decide to do. So yeah, up to you guys to push or champion different ideas. And if we see support from the community, then we can bump things up the priority list. I don't know how many questions there are, but I've been going, all day today. So maybe we can, maybe wait a minute or so, Ron, and then cut off questions if anyone has last minute ones to get in now. That'll be good, and then we'll call it. So if you have any more questions, get them in now. Discord, YouTube, Twitch, wherever. And then I'll do the typical reminder that you can also post questions in the Town Hall channel at any time. And myself or other team members will try to answer them as quickly as possible. So you don't have to always get them in for the live event. Sometimes you can get better answers if it's not during the live event. So we don't have, if we could take our time and respond, it's easier than thinking off the top of our head. But just a reminder for that. Question from Blaze. What would it take to create DECL? The reason is every time I bring in DEC for land, I buy cards or packs. Yeah, I've been thinking about dipping into my land reserves for the first time ever with this one. So we might need something like that to lock them on land and you can't touch them forever. Matt needs a pickle shirt saying I'm a big deal around Praetor. All right. Well, whoever asked about making T-shirts, there you go. That's the payment. You got to make the pickle shirt. Question from Mega Marcus. Since the community is spread all over the world, do you have some sort of guerrilla marketing in mind? I'd be happy to spread cool Splinterlands stickers around big cities and guild members are living, for example. Just need pictures and would print them here at a printing company. Yeah, I think one of the big things that I know I've talked about with you, Blaze, and with Dave is not just like, different campaigns that we can run, but also how we can empower all of you guys to be as effective as possible in marketing. I feel like our community is the biggest asset we have. So I would expect, to see some sort of organized push, led by Blaze, of like how all of you guys can go help support the marketing campaigns.
Yeah, and many of them already are, and we're already doing some things. So now that CA's out of the way, we can start focusing on that thing. And also, like the media kit, Nate and I need to get together and get you guys a nice media kit with all the new images and stuff. So we're going to get there. Next week is what's on my agenda for that. So Nate, lock it in.
And on that subject, I would like to say that we're already connecting with the community and doing certain things with the community. For instance, on Twitch, we're working with Tails to work through how we can get drops for Twitch, like things like that. You don't really see yet, but it's happening, right? And Tails is awesome, Jangles is awesome, Brave Tofu. I mean, we're working with a lot of different people, all the influencers like Bulldog and Aftersound, and I don't even want to start naming all the names. Everybody's like pitching in, they're helping, they're Bulldog's like working on a recruitment for streamers, where he's going to set up special tournaments for them and use like his connections over there. So, I mean, there are things that are happening. So hang in there, keep your eyes open. We got a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah, just because it's already circulating, I'll drop it right now. So we've partnered with YGG for season 10. So that's, pretty big, but we would like to see how it goes. And again, welcome them as they come on board over the next few weeks in the Discord, and let's see how it goes. But it's big news, but I'd like to share it here just because they've already teased with it. So
Yeah, that sounds good, and I definitely look forward to. I mean, again, our community's done so much already, and there's nothing stopping anyone in the community from going out and bringing in new players and doing whatever you can. But I hope to see like some more organized things and assets and things being delivered that you guys can use in the near future as part of our marketing plans. Question from Paul TRX. I'd like to give a shout out to Joey for helping get the Desolation card into the game, which furthers the lore of Possibilists, the Wise. It really shows how the team works great in conjunction with the top 6 summoner winners from the core set pre-sales. Joey, I mean, one of those guys that does a ton of work, comes up with all the lore for everything, all the card names, is very involved with all the bloodline stuff and making that happen. I didn't know that Desolation was related to Possibilists. I have not read the lore for the majority of the cards, but that's really cool. And we hope that the that top 6 spot where you get to design the card is a really exciting, coveted thing, going forward. So that's really cool, Joey. If you're listening, you get a shout out for that.
Yeah, in fact, for those of you who want to dig into that stuff, Joey put in a ton load of work on splinterlore.com, or you could also go to lore.splinterlands.com. Goes to the same place. But when we made the changeover to Bloodlines, we had there was a lot of work involved in the taxonomy of making that set make sense with our world building, and Joey really went above and beyond. And it was really important to him to get the lore site prepped in time for the Conclave launch, and he got right under the wire. He was so proud. I was so happy for him because he finished it like the day or two before the launch, and it was like, oh, got it done. That way, in case anyone opens up a card, reads the lore, looks at the bloodline, and wants to know more, they can go to that site and it all makes sense.
And we're going to be pushing lore a lot more down the road, like making sure that it's more integral in many facets of our game. And the other thing, I don't know, Yabba probably doesn't even know this, but I actually have come to learn since I've been on the team, and Nate, revealed it to me, but Joey actually lives in Pretoria. That's how he knows how to write. Like, he actually lives there. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I look forward also. I think the campaign mode stuff is going to allow him to really let his creativity out and immerse the story within the game even more. So we can look forward to that too. Question from No Peace for you: Splinterlands to Cosmos with IBC Eureka. Have you looked into it? I do not think we have looked into bridging to Cosmos. I mean, generally, I'm very open to bridging, our tokens to as many other chains and platforms as we can. I have no idea what's involved technically, specifically for Cosmos and IBC. But at some point, I think we'd look at it. We'd probably focus on like EVM chains and stuff we've already done first. But if there's an opportunity there, then 100%. All right, I think we hit the end of questions. There's one right after the end that I'll get to from Hiju Weputa. Call me Rudy. All right, Rudy. Any chance Rooney shows up with utility for conflicts? That's a good question. I don't think we, obviously that wasn't the case for previous conflicts, but that's possibly something we could look into for the new conflicts. So I'll put that on a list of stuff to discuss with the team as we're, getting started working on the new conflicts pretty soon. So cool idea there. All right, that's the end of the questions. It's gonna wrap up things for the town hall a little bit early. So I apologize if you guys wanted to hear from us more. But these evening ones are definitely a little tougher, at least for me. I don't know if it's the same for the rest of the team. I know it's super late for Blaze, where he lives. So happy to call it a little early for you guys and myself. Yeah, it's one of these. I don't know what else to say. I'll reiterate. I feel like it's a real inflection point for the whole ecosystem and the product. Tuesday was like one of the most fun days I've had in a really really long time. After I do everything worked well. I'm sure that's similar for everyone here. And yeah, just seeing the reactions from the community, it was just so great to see all the excitement around it. Like it was just 10 times more than all the other stuff we did, even like with the land 1.75 and previous sets. Like the level of excitement was nowhere near I think where it was this Tuesday. Especially those notifications really helped. Yeah, and just all the kind of like really new awesome stuff that got in as part of this. So we have a tall task to keep the excitement and the momentum going here, but that's what we're going to be doing throughout the rest of this year and beyond. So a huge thank you again to everyone on the call and the rest of the team. You guys made it happen. I don't know. What you guys have any last thoughts?
Yeah, the community too. I mean, that's why we're here, right? Like we get energized by you guys. I mean, just think of all the awesome people that we have not only putting money into the game, but doing things, spending their time, writing posts, doing streams. I mean, it's fun, right? Like I know I was talking to Yabba during the opening at one point, and he's like, I got to go get this stream. I got to go check out Jeff's opens cards, and like that kind of stuff is fun. It's motivating for us, and I want to thank you guys as well because you make it worth it, right? Like that's part of why we're here is we're a big family.
Yeah. I mean, and the whole the amount of the player testing that we did with the bunch of players that came in and tested all the cards on our QA site, like that's something we never really did before to this level. I think it really made the set like 10 times better for going through all that. Like everyone chipped in and worked out really well. And it's just so cool, like involving everyone in that process. Yeah, it was just so different than how it's been in the past, and I think it shows. And I think our project is just going to be like so much better going forward. Because of the community involvement. Like we don't do stuff anymore without checking with the community, talking to people, getting feedback. Yeah, I mean it is like the vision was a community run game. obviously we have the DAO and the validators, the SPS token, and but it goes beyond that. It's just like you have to actually have the community members there that are going to spend the time and energy to do all this and make it happen. So yeah, like I said, it's kind of all coming together. The struggling for a number of years, we've gotten past, I think, all the major hurdles, and now we have all the pieces in place to just go make this happen.
We're one big team. You know, the team here is a team like the Splinterlands team, but you know, the community is also part of that team. And I say it all the time to, you know, when I talk to people, like it's amazing how many people spend the amount of time that they do helping to make us succeed. I mean, it's unbelievable. So one of these days, people are going to figure it out outside of our community and watch what happens. It'll be huge.
Yeah, hopefully very soon, thanks to Blaze's efforts. All right, cool. If you guys have any last words to say for the stream, feel free to jump in.
No, good times ahead. Excited.
Yep.
Appreciate all of you.
All right, off to open a few packs before bed.
Nate, I want to see that or Ron, can you make Nate's thing flash one more time for the last time? His pickle background. Ron might be gone. Oh, there he is.
Oh, there we go. There he's quick on the trigger there with that. All right, and everyone can look forward to the full details of how to get the pickle card in a post in the near future. So thank you, everyone. Have a good night, evening, morning, wherever you are, and we will talk to you again in a month.
Thank you, everybody.